Alright guys, today we're going to do the second part of lesson 2-7, which is the absolute value inequalities. And let's see, what we did the other day was when we had the less than or and today we're going to talk about with the greater than and or. Okay, the inequality, absolute value is greater than 5, describes all real numbers whose distance from 0 is greater than 5 units. Okay? The solutions are all numbers less than -5 or greater than 5. The inequality x is greater than 5 can be rewritten as the compound inequality, x is less than -5 or x is greater than 5. Okay, so what this is stating right here is we have 0, we have 5, and we have -5. Okay, absolute value is greater than 5. Okay, so we write it this way. So less than -5, and then we write it this way. Greater than -5. So what's different on this one is, guys, there's a break here. You're not including the numbers, the real numbers between negative and 5. There's a break, okay? All right. So that is what this is saying. Just explain that, so let's move on. Okay, solve the inequality and graph the solution. So, first we need to isolate our absolute value. To do that, we have to subtract 14 from both sides. Okay. And we kind of just did this one with our explanation. So the absolute value of x is greater than or equal to 5. So you got to do both cases, okay? So we have x is less than or equal to -5, and x is greater than or equal to 5. Okay? So when we write that, it would be x less than or equal to -5, or, because there's a break, x is greater than or equal to 5. So when we graph it, this is a closed circle. Solution set is going to the left, numbers less than -5, or numbers greater than -5. Okay. Let's pick a number that's not in our solution set and substitute it in, okay? Well, 0 is right on there, so let's pick number 1. Okay, absolute value of 1 is 1. 1 plus 14 is 15. Is 15 greater than or equal to 19? No. That's why this is not part of your solution set. Let's pick -5. Absolute value of -5 is 5. 5 plus 14 is greater than or equal, because it's equal to 19, so that one works. Let's pick a number up here. Let's pick 10. Absolute value of 10 is 10. 10 plus 14 is 24. 24 is greater or equal to 19. That's why there's a break, and you cannot include what's inside there. Okay, so we need to isolate our absolute value, so we're going to subtract both sides by 3. So I have absolute value of x plus 2 is greater than 2. Okay, now we do our two cases. All right, so we can have the absolute value, x plus 2 greater than 2, or we can have x plus 2 less than -2. Remember, if this is absolute value, it has to be greater than 2 or less than -2. Okay, so let's solve this inequality. Inverse of addition is subtraction. And let's solve this side. Okay, so to write this compound inequality, it would be x is greater than 0, or x is less than -4. Okay, so we have -4 and we have 0. Okay, So, x is greater than 0. We're not going to include 0, but it's greater. So it goes to the right. X is less than -4. We're not going to include -4, and it's less than. So your solution set is all real numbers to the left of -4 and all real numbers to the right of 0. All right, solve the inequality and graph it. Okay, we need to do the same thing. Don't let the rational numbers scare you here. We need to isolate our absolute value, so we're going to subtract 1/2 from both sides. So I'll have x plus 2 1/2 greater than or equal to 4 minus 1/2 is 3 1/2. Okay? Now that I've isolated my absolute value, I can do my two cases. So I have x plus 2 1/2 is going to be greater than or equal to 3 1/2. Or I have x plus 2 1/2 is going to be less than -3 1/2. Less than or equal there. Okay, solve this one-step inequality. Subtract 2 1/2. So x is greater than or equal to 1. Subtract 2 1/2. So x is less than or equal to negative. Actually, it's going to be -6. 5 and 1, so -6. Okay, so when you write this, x is less than or equal to -6, or x is greater or equal to 1. All right, x is less than or equal to -6, so I'm going to include -6. Solution set goes to the left because it's less than. Or x is greater than or equal to 1, closed circle going to the right. Okay. I'm going to let you all solve this, and we will discuss it in class tomorrow. This is going to be a candy question. So you all can solve it on your own. Make sure your answer is written down. Make sure you graph it, and I'm going to move on here. Okay, when solving an absolute value inequality, you may get a statement that is true for all values of a variable. In this case, all real numbers are solution of the original inequality. If you get a false statement when solving an absolute value, then you have no solution. So let's look at these. Okay, solve the inequality. Again, we need to isolate our absolute value, so we're going to add 5 to both sides. So the absolute value of x plus 4 is going to be greater than -3. Okay, so the absolute value is always what? Positive, right? Well, this is negative, so this is saying whatever you substitute in right here, it's going to be greater than -3. So when you isolate your absolute value, and on the left side or on the right side of that inequality, if you have a negative number, it's all real numbers. Okay, so let's test this. Let's pick a number. Let's pick 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. Absolute value of 5 is greater than -3. Okay, well, let's pick a negative number. Let's pick -10. -10 plus 4 is -6. Absolute value of -6 is +6. Is +6 greater than -3? Yes. So that's why you have all real numbers as your solution. Okay. Again, you need to isolate your absolute value. Inverse of addition is subtraction. 7 minus 9 is a -2. Okay, class, when you have the absolute value, this here is going to be positive. So can positive ever be less than negative? A positive number, can it ever be less than a negative? No. All right, so here's an example. When it's less than and negative, no solution. Okay, so let's test any number. Let's plug in 2, or let's substitute in 2. Well, that's going to give us 0. Let's not, well, let's go ahead and substitute in 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0. Is 0 less than negative 2? No, it's greater. Let's substitute in negative 5. Negative 5 minus 2 is negative 7. Absolute value of negative 7 is positive 7. Is positive 7 less than negative 2? No. So this is an example of where you have a no solution. And that's why you have no solution on that, because absolute value is always positive. It represents a distance, and it cannot be less than 0. All right, guys, that's it. Have a good one.